Hi everyone. So this is Module 7. Make sure that you've turned in your assignment for Module 6, the articles assignment. If you're watching this on Monday of the following week, this means that you're watching it when the due date is for that last assignment. So be sure to turn that in. I don't always remind you, but I'm going to try to remember to do that in these videos. This week we're covering plagiarism. We're covering copyright and fair use and understanding what paraphrasing is. When you are doing your papers, and you're going to have papers coming up, they're not big papers, guys. They're like one-page papers or summaries, a one-paragraph summary. So it's not a ton of stuff, but when you're doing them, you have to make sure that you're not plagiarizing your work. So the whole point of this week, this module, is to explain what copyright is, what fair use is, what plagiarism is, to make sure you really understand the things that are plagiarism, the things that are maybe just poor judgment on how you decide to handle giving information that came from another source, okay? So copyright. Now the videos are going to go through it, and then you need to watch the videos. They explain it a little better. But what I want you to know is that copyright is when someone has, the moment they create an original work, they have something that they have put together, they have something that they have the idea of, and they've put it all together for it, that they now have a copyright. Now you can actually submit something to be copyrighted, okay? So that you can show, this is my work and I want to get full credit and I want people to pay and all kinds of stuff. But even if you don't have it copyrighted, the moment you create something, it's your work. You have control of that work, okay? Now, as a student, while we are teachers and students in the education department, education arena that you're in right now, you are able to use a person's part of their work, pieces of their work, to help explain in your own papers, to help teach someone else. This is fair use, okay? But you still have to give credit because it's not yours. It came from somewhere. So anytime you get something from somewhere else, you have to give credit. You may change every single word and not use a single thing the same, but the whole idea, the concept, where the information came from was from somewhere else. Even if it's in your words, the original is from somewhere else. You have to cite that source, okay? You had a module previously, Module 4, that goes over APA, and there's a quiz on that APA. Remember to look at that if you don't remember how plagiarism works and what all might be involved. This module has not only the copyright and fair use videos, it talks about fair use and the different areas that fair use is allowed, where you don't have to pay, but you still have to get permission sometimes. So you need to watch that video. It also talks about paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is when you take a sentence or you take information and you put it in your own words in your paper, and then you cite the source. Quoting is when you take it word for word from somewhere else, and you put quotation marks around it in your paper and you cite the source. You don't change the wording of it, okay? So I want you to understand paraphrasing, and that's actually a question in your quiz on there. But there is a plagiarism online game. This is a game that a librarian created to try to make sure you guys learned about plagiarism. And so I got permission from the author of that game to let you play it. Now, you may have trouble using, if it doesn't want to open in one of your browsers, try another browser. So if it doesn't want to work in Google Chrome, try Firefox. If it doesn't want to work in Internet Explorer, try Google. All that kind of stuff. Try a different browser. If you still have trouble, let me know, because the plagiarism quiz, all the questions come from that game. If you play the game and you pay attention, you can ace the quiz. Guys, this class is point-based. So if you want to make a good grade in this class, the better you can do on these scores, obviously, the better it'll be. This is 1,000 points for the class. If you get 1,000 points, you get everything right, straight A, that's an A for the course. If you get up to, maybe you get 90 points on the quiz, and you get 90 and 50 and you get close to the amount of the top of the points, you're going to get a good grade. You can find out what you've got all the time, okay? And I can always help you with that. So you want to do well on this quiz. This is an easy A if you do the work. And that means you actually pay attention to the game. You actually do it, okay? It takes a little time, but it's worth it. So this, I'm huge on plagiarism. Huge, because it is so important, and it actually affects the real world. There are people getting sued millions of dollars because they plagiarize someone else's work, especially in the music, you'll see a lot of examples in the music industry where they will take a beat from someone else's song. They will take some kind of word, or they'll maybe even in a commercial, they copy part of a commercial and they don't get permission. And then they get sued and they have to pay the money because it wasn't theirs to take. So it is a real world problem that you need to be able to solve. And if you can do this right, you're going to do well, okay? So remember, ask questions if you need help with that. We are getting close to spring break. We have another week and then it'll be spring break. So in the spring break, please be sure to watch that video as well, because it's going to cover a little bit about the final project. I haven't talked much about the final project, if at all, and I'm going to talk about it in the spring break video for that week. So I know you're going to be wanting to take a break and I want to look at school, but just at least watch the videos so that you know what's coming, and that way if you're somebody who likes to try to prep ahead of time, you'll have a chance to do that, okay? Because I want you to be able to understand and get started on stuff so that you're not overwhelmed. And most of you usually have that goal where you don't want to be overwhelmed, but you're tired. There will be chances in a few weeks where it's not going to be quite as strong and difficult in this class, so that you'll have more time to get some of this stuff done. But you still have to get stuff done on time. You need to turn things in on time. Even if it was due spring break, you got to turn it in on time, okay? Don't forget the due dates. So good luck with this. Pay attention and you'll do well.